Okay, so today's my birthday. And it's my first time on a stage with a microphone. This is exciting. You guys look beautiful. So I have a story. When I think of he said, she said, I think of all of my broken relationships because I've been single for a while. Now I have 2 children, okay? So let's start there. Now I've recently been a single parent that's been dating. So I said, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try this out, I'm gonna date. I'm not really 21, guys, because I have a 10-year-old and an 8-year-old. So I'm really 31, let's start there. So, and I feel like I can say that because I'm not one of those hard 31s, those old ugly people that's I'm 31, but they look like they've been 31 for a long time. I don't do drugs. I don't really drink a whole lot. I like my red wine. Okay, so I date. I do. I'm still single, but I date. So the last relationship that I had, one thing I'll say is a friend of mine recently told me that I'm an eclectic dater. So I thought that was really interesting. So an eclectic dater, he says that because I'll date anyone. I feel like anyone deserves a chance. If you're tall, if you're short, if you're fat, if you're thin, if you're incredibly smart, if you're kind of dumb, I'll do that. We'll try that out. I've never done, I haven't dated a midget yet, but I'm totally into it. I do it. Why not? So the most recent dating experience that I had, and I feel like this is he said, she said, because I recently ran into a friend of mine who happened to be his cousin, because Tulsa's just that small. So it was kind of he said, she said. So it was kind of oh yeah, he told me he was dating this really great girl and he moved in with her and she was so awesome and she was so cute, and then something happened on Facebook and they stopped dating. That's what he said. Now, what she said was a little bit different. So we'll start off with, I'm about 5'8", 5'9", okay? So he wasn't the tall end, he was the short end. He was maybe about 5'4". Let's start there. So, it's okay though. Hey, everybody needs love, right? So he was about 5'4", and what happened was he was in a situation where he was living with a cousin, they were roommates. So that was fine. He had his own car, his own place, everything was cool. Well, I guess he got into a situation with his cousin, right? So it ended up that they couldn't live together anymore for whatever reason it was. So I was going out of town. So I said, well, you know what? I've known you for a while and we recently started dating. So I'll give you a key to my place because I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks. So that's no problem. You can stay there. And he was really great about it. He cleaned up my entire house. He even cleaned the garage, right? So I was like, okay, that's so awesome. You can do that. But then when I came back, he didn't really give me the key back, so I didn't know how to ask for that back without being a total bitch about it, okay? So I said, okay, it's okay because we still go out, we still date, we still go out to eat and everything, and you're never really there because you're at work and everything kind of works out. Well, the problem kind of came up where we got into an argument and he left for 3 days. So I'm if you left for 3 days, then you got somewhere else to live. You ain't living with me, right? So, that's just me personally. So he was staying somewhere else and he came back and he's like, oh, hey, baby, I missed you, whatever. I'm like, okay, that's fine. And I was like, okay, so you leaving, you going back wherever you came from, right? Because I really wanted my key back, but you didn't give it back. But that's okay, that's fine. So he's like, well, the whole reason I left for 3 days, because he didn't have any children. He said, I'm going to come back. And, the thing is, it's just your kids are always on the TV. They're playing their Xbox. And I don't like the games that they play and everything like that. So, it's just a lot. If you did, the key word was this. He said, if you didn't have kids, I would be around more often. Wait, what? I'm sorry, I must not have heard that right. Can you repeat that? He said, well, if you didn't have kids, I would be around more often. I said, well, if I didn't have kids, I wouldn't even date you. Let's be real about it, right? Because like I know that I'm cute, you know, like I went to school for electrical engineering, so I know that I'm smart, you know what I mean? Like I'm really tall, I'm really pretty, like I'm really kind of full of myself. So let's be real about this. If I didn't have any kids, you needed to be at least 6'2" to date me. Like let's kind of be real about this. So when he said that, you know, I had to take a minute to myself and I said, let's talk, what would Jesus do? You know the WWJD. What would Jesus do? Let's talk about that for a minute. So, you know, I didn't go in on him at first, you know, because I'm still trying to get into heaven. So I said, I'm gonna wait a minute. So he said, if you didn't have kids, I would be around more often. She said, if I didn't have kids, I wouldn't even be talking to you right now. He said, well, wait a minute. What does that mean? She said, that means you need to be at least this tall to talk shit to me. He said, well, wait a minute. Well, I don't understand because I felt like everything was going good here. She said it was going good until you felt like you talked to me any type of way because I'm not that person. I don't know who you thought you was talking to, but that wasn't me. I hate to be the female black stereotype that, you know, roll her neck and be like, oh, no, you didn't. But that was just me at that personal point in time, you know. So then he said, well, why don't you just say what's really on your mind? And she said, really? Because it's about to get real. So he got in his feelings and he started getting all mad and he was like, well, what you really mean and all that stuff. So she said, listen, before you raise your voice at me, you must be this tall to raise your voice to me. Second of all, if you don't calm down right now, I'm going to put your phone on top of the refrigerator so you can't call for help. So needless to say, it didn't go very well, and he got in his feelings, and I took my key bag, and he went on where he went, and I went on where I went, and I'm still single. So where are all the single men tonight? Hey, I see you. Where anybody? Hey boo, I see you. And did I mention that it was my birthday? And that was my story. Thank you guys, you've been great.
I gotta say, I'm really embarrassed. I can't believe Lisa shared the story of our first date together. Like, what the hell, Lisa? What the hell?